As you get started with PowerPoint and you plan to use it, it is important to keep in mind some of the best practices on using and presenting a presentation. As you'll see shortly here, it is very easy to get stuck in customizing colors, customizing certain things within a presentation, and therefore you'd miss the point of your presentation. And usually the point of presenting and utilizing PowerPoint and utilizing presentations is so that you can convince the audience of whatever you're trying to sell to them. If you're teaching a lesson, you want them to get the lesson. If you're selling a product, you want them to buy the product. So it's not necessarily how well you designed your PowerPoint, but it is more important how effective your PowerPoint is to achieve the goal that you're presenting. So the first thing that I'd suggest is that you fill out an outline before you begin to put the presentation together. So just lay out how your presentation is going to look as far as the flow of it. Then also it is important to utilize words that are large enough, at least font size 24 or higher. That it can get very frustrating to the audience when your text is not readable. Also, limit the number of words that you put on a page. It's best to avoid the paragraphs, use bullet points, and nowadays with PowerPoint 2013 and later versions, use smart art. Graphical images or designs like smart art, they make the PowerPoint much more appealing and also to get the point across. And it is also, remember the 7x7 rule. What that means is that if you're using bullets, listings like I have here, try to keep no more than 7 lines or 7 bullets per page, and also no more than 7 words on average, of course, per line. A couple more things here on guidelines on using PowerPoint. Just because text and different fonts may look fancy to you, fancy is not always better, so try to keep and utilize the simple fonts. For example, this first line here in my recording, it is probably harder to read than the other ones below. Also, if you're choosing different color combinations and so on, try to make the text easy to read, because again, it's convincing the audience whatever you're trying to sell to them. It's not necessarily how fancy your colors are. And it's best to color coordinate components of the PowerPoint as well. So limit graphics per page. So usually 1 is best, but if you have to use more than 1, don't go more than 3 unless there is a specific purpose for those. And then special effects. Make sure that if you're having animations within the PowerPoint, that those effects have a purpose. And as you are presenting, again, it is important to emphasize here that the presentation, the slides that you're using, they should be to support what you are trying to present and not necessarily be your presentation. By that, what I mean is that as you're presenting the PowerPoint, do not just turn your back toward the audience and read everything that is in the PowerPoint, but rather use it to support, to reinforce what you had just presented the minute before.